This is the 1962 Volkswagen Beetle that I bought a couple months ago. This is exactly the way I saw it when I purchased it. The engine was sitting out. The bug had caught fire in 2003, 17 years ago, and the owner removed the engine to try to clean it up, remove wiring, and try to get some of the dry chemical out of the engine. But it's been sitting here ever since, and it's been a home for mice and who knows what. So we're going to try to do a first start on this. So stay tuned. Here's the motor that came with it. It was running and driving when it caught fire, and he took apart some of the stuff that, I guess checking for other damage. But the motor is not seized up or anything. It does spin, so I don't think it'll be a hard fix. Here's the culprit of why it had a fire on this carburetor. That little fitting presses into where the float bowl is, and I think it popped out, got on the exhaust, and caught it on fire. All right, I had to remove all the engine tin on this motor. There were rodent nests and carcasses packed into the cooling fins of the cylinders, and the shrouds, the cylinder shrouds, were packed full. If you would have started it like that, it would have, I'm sure, overheated in no time. Anyhow, I got all that cleaned out really well. I had to replace the distributor. It was pretty well melted, so I bought a new distributor, plug wires, and spark plugs, and I did a quickie rebuild on the carburetor. I've got also a new ignition coil. Now I did pull the spark plugs out and cranked it up just to build oil pressure. I put a mechanical gauge on, and it did build up, 5 or 10 pounds at cranking speed. So when it starts up, at least we'll have some lubrication on the parts. I picked up this old cracked Volkswagen transaxle case and put a starter on it, just so I could test it here on the ground before we stab it in the car. So we'll try this out soon. This motor had been converted to 12 volts already. Oh, also because this has a generator on it and it's been sitting for 17 years, I did polarize the generator to make sure that it starts charging right away. But we'll try to get it cranked up here pretty soon. I'm going to set the static timing on the distributor here. You could do that. I've got it marked at. I had to find. Here's top dead center. This little mark, and I had to figure it out. Put a mark on here for 10 degrees before top dead center. I'll show you how you do this. All right, I'm going to set the static timing at 10 degrees. I have the crankshaft pulley with the 10 degrees before top dead center mark in line with the split in the case. And I've loosened up the distributor clamp. The rotor is basically roughly in the position for the number 1 spark plug lead. I'm going to put this back on. Now I'm going to use just a regular 12 volt test lamp. Just need some place to ground it. And I'm going to go on the coil, the same side that the condenser is attached to. And let me hook up my ignition lead. All right, I got a fuel line dropped in this gas tank. Just got a little bit of gas. I'm gonna fill up the float bowl through the vent here to get it started. Hopefully that'll be enough to get it running and prime the fuel system and the filter. But let's go ahead and get to it. that was pretty easy, but let me show you the oil pressure. About 35 pounds at idle. Well, that was a lot easier than I expected. Sounds pretty nice, and it starts right back up. Definitely worthy of doing a better tune-up on it, maybe a new carburetor. But I'm going to use this, put it in the Beetle, get the brakes working, so I could actually drive this thing pretty soon. I just had the brake drums turned, and I've got parts coming to rebuild all the brakes. But hopefully we'll have this on the road here soon. I do have another engine I was planning to rebuild, a 1600. I was going to do a big bore stroker on it, but I may just drive it like this for a while. But thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.